So this is Belsay Hall. We're just a bit north of Newcastle in Northumberland, and we've got a lovely hall, we've got a castle, we've got quarry gardens as well. It's a really interesting example of Grecian architecture. You can't see that at the moment because we've got the scaffolding up. But what people really come here for is our quarry gardens. They're really unique. The walls create a little microclimate, and it means you'll see plants here that you'll not see anywhere else in England. So the Middleton family who owned Belsay, they used to live in the castle section of our site, which is at the far end. And what they decided to do after a tour of Europe, inspired by Grecian architecture, was to build themselves a new home. So they quarried where our quarry gardens are now, and on Christmas Day, so the story goes, they moved from the castle to the new hall. And they actually very deliberately did the quarries so that they could build gardens there. So they had this horticultural plan in mind, and that's how we get the beauty that we've got today. Belsay Awakes is a fantastic project. It's been in the works for about 10 years now, and it's taken loads of different forms in that time. But now we're getting to the final iteration of that project. We've got major conservation works. We've got the hall, we're going to put a new roof on it. We're also going to have a new car park, so we're going to have some new infrastructure. We've redone our toilets so that the visit really lives up to visitor expectations. In amongst that, we're going to have a new cafe. We're going to have a new cafe down at the castle site, a new play area for the little ones, and that'll just mean that people can really get the most out of their visit. It's really important that we conserve these sites for future generations, and this project covers that in both ways. It makes sure that we are conserving it for the future, but also that people can really enjoy their day out here. So every aspect is getting a bit of attention at Belsay here. It really is an awakening for the whole site.
It's an impressive view, isn't it? Treetop height and everything. So the project is really important for Belsay. There's some key conservation works that need to happen, some repairs. So the hall, for example, is a huge element of the project. The roof has a really low pitch in its original design, and the guttering and the drainage was all put on the inside of the building, which meant that water was actually going inside, and over 200 years, needless to say, that's going to cause some problems. So Paul, is this just the old felt?
That's old felt, yes.
So is it rotten then?
It's just rotten away over the years, and that's what we'll be replacing with a bat-friendly, more breathable, longer-lasting felt.
So damp, wet rot, dry rot has all caused all these issues, and the slate now needs to be replaced.
We'll do the joinery works on it, and then we'll follow them round and round, and
Right.
then they'll be putting the slate back on as we go round. The roof's got several leaks at the moment due to how long it's been on, the damage, the pitch of the roof. Now when we strip the slates off, we don't know what condition the timbers are underneath, so that's going to be quite challenging when we do remove it, to see what we actually need to do. And then we'll have it surveyed by the architect and the structural engineer, and then we'll get cracking on with the timber repairs and re-roof it. You've got to be a lot more sensitive with what you're doing. Bats, for instance, will be here doing a dawn survey before we even lift any slates, just to see where the bats are actually going. So when we do lift the slates, we're not injuring any of the animals.
So while all the works are happening on the project, the site's still open, so visitors can still come. And we're doing a whole range of different activities and events and tours so that visitors can learn about what's happening.
It's great to have visitors when we're on a live project.
So we're going to be running scaffolding tours, which are hard hat tours with high vis, so it'll all be quite exciting, but it comes up above the height of the roof. So visitors will be able to come up and stand and have volunteers and the contractors explain all the works that's happening on the roof. So we're doing something a little bit unusual at Belsay. We're going to have a slide from this scaffolding staircase. Not only do you get this amazing view, but you get an opportunity to play with it as well. So the slide will come off this platform and take you back down to ground level. So there's some really cool facts and figures about all this scaffolding. There are 28 miles worth of tubes, of the scaffolding tubes, which would basically take you from Belsay all the way to Durham. There's 212 tons of scaffolding, which is more than the Statue of Liberty weighs. And all of these clips and the shackles, the joint part of the scaffolding. There's 28,000 of them used all around, and they've all been fitted by hand.
So this has been a bit of historical detective work to try and work out what paper underlies this cream emulsion paint. I'm Lisa Weir-Stevens and I'm a Collections Project Conservator at English Heritage. And if you can look at an angle, you can see a lovely sort of decorative relief. And from that, I pieced together, I was able to find the original design, which is illustrated here. So this room would have all been wallpapered in this amazing foliage of beautiful different colours. This paper was designed by J.H. Durl, who was the chief designer at the William Morris Company. There are lots of different elements of the conservation aspect that I'm involved with. We have a programme of wallpaper conservation happening. Specialist paper conservator has been doing practical conservation treatment of the wallpapers, of which we have about 8 different decorative schemes in 16 areas of the property. Also, I've been working with the contractors and specifying the internal protection of the building. We've had to move about 550 stored collections. To make them safe, we've had to remove them from the top floor of the hall down into temporary storage spaces on the first floor. And as part of that, we've been doing a lot of auditing of collections, cleaning of collections, and checking of different materials. So here we've got an Edwardian stove. This is the new kitchen at Belsay, and it's not an area where the public have been able to visit before, but we've taken the opportunity as part of this project to do some conservation treatment of it. It has been in a really, really sorry state. With the brilliant help of volunteers and historic property stewards, they have been working so hard. They've been removing rust and debris that had built up on the surface. I mean, soot, debris inside has all been removed, putting a preservative treatment on the surface. So we're having a wax treatment into the internal areas, and we're doing a wax blacking solution on external areas. And you can see Jill working here, buffing up the newly applied black wax treatment, which has also been completed on certain elements of the front of the stove. The stove itself is an Edwardian period. So in the middle, you've got the fire section, and on the left-hand side, that would have been the roasting oven, and on the right-hand side, you've got the baking oven. And I think we've got like 97% completeness. I was looking at oral history archives and came across lots of wonderful historic quotes from people who lived here, worked here, and from the army occupation during the Second World War. So we've made oral history panels which we've put onto some of the protection areas so that it'll be a wonderful experience for people to actually see that kind of living history.
So we're here in Hall Wood, and this has been a huge part of the project actually. What we wanted to do is try and restore the original Mediterranean feel, and part of the project really has been to open up the views through to these fabulous Scots pines that you see, and you can appreciate all the lovely textures now. I'm John Hawley, I'm the head gardener here at Belsay Hall. We're a team of 10 plus a team of around 10 volunteers. So I obviously manage the maintenance and the conservation of the garden, and lead the Belsay Awakes project as well in conjunction with my colleagues. What we're trying to achieve is to open up the old historic views and vistas, reconnect areas of the gardens with each other, reconnect the gardens with views towards the hall and views to the wider landscape as well. So you get lovely focal points. As you're walking down paths, you'll be able to see the next area of the garden which is coming along, which will entice you and draw you into that area. It's also very much a plants person's garden. So really, as part of the project, we're trying to increase that level of interest in plant material, which is why we've recruited Dan Pearson. He's one of the country's top garden designers. And this is a Grade 1 listed garden, So we really very much thought that the garden deserved that top level of horticulture. So we have a huge range of wildlife, all the way from red squirrels. We're fortunate enough to have encouraged those back actually in the last few years, having lost them. We have badgers, fox, lots of different bat species, huge variety of bird species as well. So we've got that good starting point which we can build on. Also, as part of the project, we've got a couple of new meadows, so we'll be interesting just to see that develop over the coming years. So it'll look absolutely beautiful for visitors to see, but it's also got that added bonus of increasing wildlife in the garden.
It's been such an exciting time as the scaffolding's gone up, but all the delays that we've had with COVID and high winds and storms, just to be able to stand up here and see on a platform that we're going to be able to share all this exciting work and all this crucial, important work that's going to transform this building and make it last that bit longer into the future. That conservation and action work is going to be key.
So we've got a number of funders involved in this project, but mainly the National Lottery Heritage Fund. So everyone who plays the National Lottery has actually made this project a reality.
So even though all this work is happening at Belsay, we're still going to be open to visitors and providing opportunities for them to learn about and see all this exciting work as it happens. And we're really excited about that opportunity.
What we find people come to Belsay for is that little bit of peace and tranquility. It's a chance to get out of the city and really see some beautiful plants and beautiful gardens and get a walk in the fresh air. We can give you plenty of fresh air here. Not only can you still visit, we actively encourage you to do so. It's a really good opportunity to see the work that we're doing, get involved with scaffolding tours, and you'll be able to get involved and see what our volunteers are doing as well. There's also opportunities for heritage skills, so come down, see what we're doing, be part of it.